Hi, you probably thought I forgot about the eyebrows. And before we do the eyebrows, I want to tell you, before you erase all the guidelines and stuff, I really recommend these kind of white erasers. They work a lot better than just a regular pencil eraser because they can have clearly the pencil lead stuck on them. And if you erase with them, they can leave smudges, and we really don't want that. So we want the highlights on our face to look as real as possible. So now, let's get to the eyebrows. So we can tell that this eyebrow goes right into her bangs, her blue Cookie Monster bangs. And this one, see, they're kind of, I wonder if she did them with makeup or something, because every time I see her eyebrows are a different color. But that doesn't matter right now. Okay, so we're gonna measure them, measure her eyebrows, and what we're gonna do is measure from the widest part, kind of at the top and the bottom, and it's about that tall. But before we actually do that, sorry I forgot about this, measure from the tallest part of her eye to the eyebrow. And it's about right there. Have to kind of keep an eye on it. And look at this. It's the first time I found a mistake. We keep her bangs way low on this side. Remember? It's intersecting on her eyebrows. So, remember, I'm going to go over the shape of her eyebrows, or not her eyebrows, the bangs. Sorry, what am I saying today? And it's about where it ends. And that's where we're going to kind of flip them. So let's remeasure them. Yeah. About right there. There we go. So let's measure them over here. Let's make a line from the two marks that we made. And measure the tip right there. It's an angle that it comes in, so make sure you do that angle. And it's kind of the way it goes, it's kind of an acute angle, the eyebrow right there. Just going to kind of color in about that part. And it's kind of just a straight line into the eyebrow. Just kind of so like that. Use the curve of your wrist to do it. And remember, eyebrows are very thick. Well, not really thick. Kind of slim, but they're thicker at the beginning. Glad you came. Okay, I'm gonna stand up, kind of look at that, see if they're really that wide. I'm gonna erase maybe a little bit of it, not too much. Oh, what am I doing? I need to use that white eraser. So we don't want it to leave a smudge. And you can really just pick these up at like any craft stores. If you're lucky enough, maybe they come in like a pencil case that you bought. You'd be like, yes, I don't have to buy one. Okay. And then let's measure in between the two. Makeup artist did a very good job if these are makeup. Okay. It's about right there. So, make that mark. And remember, measure the eye tag or whatever I call them. It's about right there. See, I marked it in the wrong place just a bit. Now from the widest part of her eye, it's like right there. My iPod just dropped. Okay, So then we have that. Let's measure from right there. And this one does not get covered up by her bangs. So we can't get lazy on this one. Kind of have to draw where it was. Remember, I like to go over the shape of her eyebrow over and over again. And it gets really thin over here. Just kind of slants over. Keep going over the shape. Memorize it. And just about do it right there. It's kind of longish. So that's where I'm going to put it. And that's just about where her eyebrows would be. Sorry, I was just touching up her mouth a little bit. So now, what we're going to do is, before we kind of go over the eyes and the lips once again, and all the shading of her face, we're going to do her hair. I'm not going to forget about that. Okay, so we already did her bangs. We're going to retouch up later. And now we're going to do kind of her blue Cookie Monster bob. Okay, so kind of, I'm guessing this is a wig. I don't think she'd actually dye her hair that color. And so what we're going to do is we even have to measure with her hair. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off on this side because I'm right-handed. It's easier for me to curve. And so basically, I don't know if you can see this, but I kind of think of things like this in my head. I already did her bangs, so I'm going to put a sharp with hard color. I can erase this, it's only pencil. And if you really don't want to draw on like a book or something that you have from a picture or something, which I'm doing, I would recommend printing off a picture in the from like your computer or something. Maybe you can get this exact picture, I don't know. But so really the section of hair that I'm looking at is this part right here, the kind of lighter part. And we're going to measure from the bottom. I think that's the biggest measurement I ever have. Okay, well, actually, before we keep that, I'm going to measure from her bottom of her earlobe down there. And her hair's at an angle because her head's just like bending or something. So I'm going to take it, and it's kind of where it starts, the lighter version. She has hair behind it, so I wouldn't just draw this. So we're going to keep that there. And from how long to where we kept the earlobe, we measured it right there. I'm going to stick my pencil right there and measure it. And there we go. So it's going to be like down to right here. And I'm just going to draw a line. I can erase it if it's not the right one. And we're going to measure that. I just about got it. And she has curves on her wig and everything. Can touch over color and everything. But from the side of the top of her earlobe or whatever, I'm gonna measure it, and it's about right there. It's just about there. And I'm going to touch it up. It kind of meets the wig's bangs right there. So we're not going to put it all the way at the top. And we're going to touch it up to where we marked it here. And that's kind of where we're going to put it there. We can touch up the hair and everything. So you can see there's highlights of the light and things in it. And it kind of meets the end of her clothing, her very special clothing. And meets the end of her neck. So where I placed it was kind of the clothing was right. Well, I didn't actually measure the clothing. You should do that. I'm gonna say her neck ends about like right there. So I'm gonna measure, well, her neck kind of ends like right there. I'm gonna kind of touch that up. It's gonna be hiding anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And that's what it's gonna be. Gonna leave a mark there. And now onto the other side. Now this one's kind of closer to the top, and it comes down, and it's basically right there. It fills in all next to it. So what I'm gonna do is measure the bottom of the earlobe down to the bottom right there. So her earlobe, it ends right there. And I'm gonna measure this. Here we go. Let's measure from kind of the center of her ear. And it's kind of like the tip of it. And we're just going to kind of draw the curve that's there. And curves up to the tip of the wig that we put about right there. The bump. So I'm going to draw that curve. And basically that there, and it kind of gives this curve into side of her wig, side of her head is what I meant to say. And I'm gonna touch up with a little bit of that on all sides, and it's darker in here because it's closer to her neck. Okay, now we're just going to touch up her lips and her eyes. Okay, this might be some people's favorite part of drawing. I don't know, because some people really like drawing eyes. So what we have right here is darker around the side, because she kind of has like hazel eyes or whatever, brown. And it's darker kind of surrounding the pupil. So it would be, I'm just going to kind of lightly shade around where we put the pupil. Remember, don't color in the pupil. I don't know how many times I have to say that to people, and they're like, but now I don't have any place to shade for the light. But so shade in lightly around the edges and around the pupil. Go whatever you do, my heart belongs to you. And there we go. And I'm just gonna go over the pupil. Do the same over here. And my pencil is dull. I need to sharpen it. Remember, always keep a sharpener next to you and another eraser. Okay, sorry about that. My pencil is sharpened now. So, back to the eye. Redo the pupil a bit. Shade lightly around it. And now, it's basically that for the eyes. Well, in the center. and kind of compare the two. And what I really like to do is touch over, because the pencil lead can get everywhere. Erase with the white eraser, sorry. And it's a habit for me using the other one. Like school, you're used to doing that. So, really erase inside that pupil until we do the lighting. And now, we shall do the lighting. And the eyes only. And after the lighting in the eyes, then we'll do the eyelashes. A lot of people have a hard time with that, including me. So, basically, it's a very small dot of light. I'm not going to measure it. I'm not going to bother with that stuff. So, it was kind of over here. And you want to kind of draw it a bit bigger than it has to be. And then color in the pupil is dark around, but be really careful not to touch that light. The light is so fragile. And then kind of lightly shade around it. I want to go over the eyes again. Whatever you do, my heart belongs to you. Over here, I'm going to look back at the light. It's kind of in the center. It kind of looks like a triangle, but something. Maybe we should erase just a bit in the center. Okay, that's a bit. It's okay. And then do the eye. And that should be good enough. But I have a rule that normally, see the pupil closer to it or on the eye, it's kind of lighter on the bottom. So I would line up the bottom of the eye a bit. And on only this one occasion I have to use this. I would not recommend doing that. Okay. And then draw around it. And you're going to have that. Just kind of going over the eye. And then the water tags. Yay. Whatever they're called. Go over them. And then another thing I like to do when I'm drawing eyes, it's kind of around them. You see these pink things kind of around the center. It kind of makes it darker. What I do is I shade very lightly on each side, leaving some white in the center. And then Lady Gaga has realistic eyes. And there you have it. Just working a bit on the eyebrow here. And make it darker. And now for the eyelashes. I kind of think they're fake. I don't know, maybe. But, we have very little on the side, like right about there. They'll come up and her waterline is left alone. Right there. So we're going to draw very little, and I'm going to get a way sharper pencil than that to draw her little tiny eyelashes. If you don't mind. Second, I just have to sharpen it. See, like I said, it's great to have a sharpened pencil or sharpener near you. It's very important. You would not believe how important it is. Oh, and also, while I'm sharpening this. This looks gross, doesn't it? Well, you're not going to believe what it is. It's an eraser. And what they're used for, in case you're doing a job like that in the eye, you can use these little guys to rip off a piece so it's small, and then like so, just erase a little bit in the eye, and they work great. I use them all the time. I just forgot to use them for this video. I might leave them here in case I need them. Call them the glob. So, now that I have a sharper pencil, remember to always sharpen your pencil occasionally, like I just did, we can go into the eyelashes. And remember, we're leaving that waterline alone. In case you don't know what a waterline is, I will gladly tell you. A waterline, if you can see, is this kind of light pink thing right here where the eyelashes are separated. I like them. I'm weird like that. But, the reason why I did that kind of stroke out here is because she has it, like, this really long overcast of eyelashes right here. And they're very, very long. And over here, she's kind of like a Catwoman or something. And then they go kind of around here. I'd like to draw like a triangle or something to help. And then draw. And she has this kind of one sticking out right there. And they don't go all to the side. Some of them are kind of sticking out like that. And that's what we have. Going on to this side now. I'm going to study it. She has more kind of sticking out there. Look at that. She has another mole, except she didn't color it in. I want to, like, draw that all the more realistic. Didn't even see that. So then, we're going to draw her little eyelashes on the bottom. Leave her another waterline. And then draw that over the waterline. Yay, go waterlines. Fascinated with the word. And then she is kind of a shorter one on that side. Maybe it's the angle she's at or something. I don't know. But I'm not going to draw as long as I did over there. And she kind of has it twisted up or something. I don't know. And more on that side. Okay. And she didn't do a lot of eyeshadow. I'm proud of her. She didn't have any weird glasses on either. But, so she kind of has a bit of yellow tint up there. And I guess we'd have to kind of draw that with color, but here's what I'm talking about. You really do not want to shade that much around the eyes over here, because she has a bunch of white highlights from, like, light on her stage, wherever she is. Looks like she's at the Grammys or something. I don't know. And, she has it kind of like a triangle-y thing with, like, more wrinkles. I'm not saying you're old, Gaga. But, what I kind of like to do is, without hurting that waterline, just kind of draw where the eyelid would be, very, very lightly, in case you want to erase anything. And again, those white erasers are great for making highlights from the light and stuff. So, let's look back at that. She has kind of, on the socket of her skull, would be like, right there, all these little wrinkles. It's kind of shady in there, where her eyes are closed and stuff. See, like, there's more definite line right there. And then, see if she has, oh, look, she has some, like, on the bottom, too. And her eyes closed. Let's check over here. She has a bit of it, not as big, though. Kind of go around shading. Your fingers are great to use if you're shading and stuff. Like her nose and stuff. And her eyebrows. Fingers get all dirty then. But it's basically kind of the eyes right there. And maybe they're not as much, but we'll go over.
Everything is what I want it to be. I look exactly like what you had always wanted to see. When I pretend, I can forget about the criminal I am. Stealing second after second just cause I know I can. But I can't pretend this is the way it'll stay. I'm just trying to bend the truth. I can't pretend I'm who you want me to be. So I'm lying my way from you. No turning back now. I wanna be pushed aside, so let me go. No turning back now. Let me take back my life. I'd rather be all alone. No turning back now. Anywhere on my own, cause I can say no turning back now. The very worst part of you is me. I remember what they taught to me. Remember condescending talk of who I ought to be. Remember listening to all of that and this again. So I pretended up a person who